Liverpool have had an outstanding season so far. Despite a slip-up in the FA Cup, the Reds are still on course to secure 3 trophies in Arne Slot's first season. And in today's video, we have some huge news as Liverpool have been handed a massive boost ahead of their treble chase. We will dive into this in today's video, whilst also going over all the latest Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. But first, the FA Cup exit at Plymouth was a forgettable experience for Liverpool, but Diogo Jota left a lasting impression that speaks to why Arne Slot favours him as his number 9. Jota has experienced another turbulent season with injury, forced to miss 15 matches to date with rib and muscle injuries, limiting him to 15 starts across all competitions. The Portuguese has, however, started 3 of the last 4 matches in a nod to the hint Slot recently gave about him being Liverpool's starting number 9 when fit. And Plymouth captain Joe Edwards has offered an opposition perspective on Jota's capabilities in a reflective piece on his side's FA Cup journey, which ended at Man City with the Athletic. Reflecting on Argyle's victory over the Reds, Edwards name-checked Jota alongside Luis Diaz as Reds who caught their attention. The players were impressed with Luis Diaz in particular, how sharp he was and his first touch, always spot on and where it needed to be. They were surprised by Diogo Jota too. Despite his height, he was so strong. But to be up against players we watch on a weekly basis was a great experience for all of us. Jota stands at 5'8" and, as per Transfermarkt, is the 8th shortest player in Liverpool's squad. But he has never balked at utilising his strengths to take on the opposition defender. It is a nod to why Slot favours the 28-year-old over Darwin Núñez or Diaz in the number 9 role, with his efforts on the pitch compensating for any height he loses to his direct defender. Slot explained to reporters last month, "When he was there with us before his injury, I think he was involved in a lot of goals, scoring as well. So that tells you how much of a loss it has been not to have him, but again, I would have loved to play him every single time, maybe for 90 minutes. The Liverpool boss has not kept Jota on the pitch for 90 minutes since the trip to Plymouth, as the club makes sure not to lose him to another injury during the run-in, as he is the first choice number 9. The Reds are still competing for the Premier League, Champions League and Carabao Cup this season, and the number 20 has an important role in all 3. The FA Cup is off the table thanks to Plymouth, who had some classy parting words for the Reds via Edwards, who penned, "Liverpool were brilliant with us afterwards, despite losing. Their players were more than happy to hand out their shirts, take photos. My kids came down into the tunnel and had a few photos with Arne Slot, and Curtis Jones gave them his shirt." Now, in some huge Liverpool news, Liverpool have been handed a massive boost ahead of their treble chase, as Newcastle have several players battling various fitness issues, just 13 days out from the Carabao Cup final against Liverpool, and they also have a possible red card appeal to consider. Liverpool and the Magpies will meet at Wembley in the Carabao Cup final on March 16th, but the casualties are starting to add up for Eddie Howe's side as their season begins to stutter. Newcastle have won only one of their last 4 games in all competitions, with their latest seeing them exit the FA Cup at the hands of Brighton. It was a damaging fixture as they lost Anthony Gordon to a straight red card for violent conduct after a push on Brighton defender Jan-Paul van Hecke, which means he will be banned for 3 games. It rules the former Everton man out of the final, but Howe did not rule out an appeal, saying, "If we analyse the incident and feel there's grounds for an appeal, we will do without hesitation. It looked a textbook red card and the odds will not be in their favour, but that is only one of a handful of concerns for Howe, with several fitness issues amongst his squad." Leading goalscorer Alexander Isak was forced off before Sunday's match went into extra time. Tino Livramento struggled to finish the game and Kieran Trippier was also forced off. Howe told the press, including the Northern Echo, "Tino was clearly struggling, although I think it was cramp more than an injury. He was limited, and that limited us a lot, although I thought the players around him covered that really well." Isak just felt a bit of general tightness. I don't think it was an injury, it was just general tightness, but we felt as though he had to come off. Kieran felt his back, so we were navigating a lot of problems through that game that we hope don't have long-term consequences for us because we have such a small squad. Fullback Lewis Hall has been sent to see a specialist after an ankle injury sustained against Liverpool with no timescale available on his return ahead of the final in 13 days. Defender Sven Botman has yet to make his injury return as he didn't feel 100% confident in his body, and Newcastle didn't want to risk him. Newcastle have just one game between now and the final, a trip to West Ham, and it is clear that there is time for some, if not all, the above-mentioned players to recover to face Liverpool. Slot's side, meanwhile, are currently without 3 players and will face Southampton and twice meet PSG before they walk out of the Wembley Tunnel on March 16th. Finally, Giorgi Mamardashvili will arrive at Liverpool in the summer, intent on taking over from Alisson. But the recent verdict from the Spanish press won't come as music to his ears. Liverpool are preparing for another significant summer, as there is reason to believe a vast overhaul of the squad looms despite any potential success achieved this summer. A change in the goalkeeping department is already locked in, however, with Mamardashvili to arrive from Valencia after his move was agreed in advance last summer. Jaime Kelleher is likely to find a new home, while Alisson faces a level of uncertainty not yet experienced at Anfield, with Mamardashvili's agenda already made clear. In a piece assessing the Georgian goalkeeper, The Athletic's Greg Evans underlines that Mamardashvili does not see himself as anything other than a number 1, explaining that while he is fully respectful of Alisson, he signed for Liverpool with the intention of playing, not sitting on the bench. Alisson is contracted until 2027, and there is a pecking order to be established by Slot, who will be keeping an eye on Mamardashvili's fortunes in Spain, which hit another bump over the weekend. In a struggling Valencia side sitting in the relegation zone on goal difference, Mamardashvili conceded 3 of his 38 goals this season in a draw at Osasuna on Sunday. He was rated 5.8 out of 10 by FootMob, the second lowest of any player on the pitch, after making 2 saves but conceding 3 goals. Spanish outlet Super Deporte assessed that the keeper is a shadow of the one from a year ago, while he was one of many to earn a 1-star review from Marca. AS also assessed that he has not been a miracle-working goalkeeper for some time now, saying he has become mundane as his side struggles for form and results. His manager, Carlos Corberán, did not want to be drawn into a public comment on his performances, saying, "I don't like to publicly evaluate the individual performance of each player, but I do it privately. We compensate for any subpar performances with a lot of work." Stola Dimitrievski is Valencia's backup, but AS went on to say that the debate will open if Mamardashvili continues like this. Not exactly a compelling case to replace Alisson just yet. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.